Started right from the previous chapter itself. Krishna talks about the main shloka which comes in the which was discussed was karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturpu mate sangostuvi akarmani. So that is the main thing, how we have to perform our karma. And apart from that, if you go through this chapter 2 and chapter 3, how to spiritualize our day to day activities, because we are all immersed in our responsibilities, isn't it? In the process of carrying out our responsibilities, what is happening is we are getting stressed out, and we feel we are not able to perform certain things to our satisfaction. And how much ever we do, these are the common things which we encounter, isn't it? So how much ever we perform, whatever we do, it is not yielding, it's not taking us anywhere. So following this karma yoga, following our activities with the yoga buddhi, the same activities, when we change our attitude, it gives totally a different meaning. And Bhagavad Gita, if it is taken seriously, particularly karma yoga, I'm sure all of us will be totally stress free, and we get energized, rejuvenated, and we never think that anything is stressful for us. We learn the ability, develop the ability to handle biggest of the biggest challenges in life. So in the last 2-3 shlokas we have understood, Krishna tells Arjuna that you must, when you perform with enlightened, for people who are enlightened, they perform actions which will become, path. I mean, they become role models. The enlightened people, or the people who are wiser, who have become wise with spiritual enlightenment, they perform actions for the welfare of others, and they would have attained enlightenment. What is this enlightenment? When they understand that everything is happening with a purpose, and there is no differentiation between me and others. We are all one, but because of certain, we will learn more about that in today's shlokas. There is a purpose in this creation, and we are part of that whole system. So I need not make myself so much attached so that I suffer. So with that attitude in mind, such people perform actions. And he says, though I am the creator, Krishna himself says, there are many avatars of Parabrahma. Parabrahma is a Srishtikarta, is a creator of the entire Brahmanda. Brahmanda means it is a cosmos. Cosmos has multiple universes, multiple solar systems, multiple earths. We are just one tiny earth in the whole creation. So he is a creator of that, and yet he says, I cannot sit without working, because mama vartanu vartante. People will follow whatever I do, they follow. So I have a bigger responsibility. I cannot stop performing. And I have explained in my previous session his routine when he came as Krishnavatara. What I was trying to say, this creator comes to earth, has come to earth several times as Avatara Purusha. Narsimha Avatara, Matsya Avatara, Kurma Avatara, Rama Avatara. Now he has come as Krishna Avatara, and he is performing this action, particularly giving the guideline of Bhagavad Gita, because he knows that in future people are going to need it. In Kali Yuga, people are going to need this kind of guidance, and if they follow this, then it will relieve them of their suffering. Enlightenment also means there is a relief from suffering. It also means liberation. Liberation from suffering, liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Why birth and death? Because whenever you take birth, you will have to face disappointments, you will have to face... Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is the whole thing. Yeah. So with that he says, so therefore always perform actions, Arjuna, whatever you follow, and more so because you're a leader, you're a Kshatriya, and when you have to perform your actions in a way that people can follow you, and for ages together. It's not only during that time, because people, great people have to create history. And today we are following Krishna, we are following Arjuna, we are following so many people, Mahatma Gandhi, many of those of such great leaders. So therefore he says that you must be so cautious, so aware that people, you must be responsible enough so that you become a role model. And if you make any mistakes, everyone follows. So you must lead them by example. That is why I gave the title for my previous session. Now we come to 24th shloka. It continues like that. So karma yoga is not only karmanyavadikaraste. It is not only giving up the fruits of action. It's not only giving up work with detachment, but it has many subtle things. Today's is little, deeper. We shall go. I will chant and then go one by one. उत्सीदेयुरिमे लोका न कुर्यां कर्म चेदहं संकरस्य च कर्ता स्याम् उपहन्यामिमाः प्रजाः सक्ताः कर्मण्य विद्वांसो यथा कुर्वन्ति भारत कुर्यात् विद्वान् तथा असक्तः चिकीर्षुः लोकसंग्रहम् न बुद्धिभेदं जनयेत् अज्ञानां कर्मसङ्गिनां जोषयेत् सर्वकर्माणि विद्वान् युक्तः समाचरन्. 6 प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहङ्कारविमूढात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते. तत्त्ववित्तु महाबाहो गुणकर्मविभागयोः गुणागुणेषु वर्तन्त इति मत्वा न सज्जते. प्रकृतेः गुणसम्मूढाः सज्जन्ते गुणकर्मसु तान् कृत्स्नविदो मन्दान् कृत्स्नवित् न विचालयेत्. मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा निराशीः निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः. So further discussion and description of how karma yoga has to be implemented. He continues. उत्सीदे युरिमे लोका न कुर्यां कर्म चेदहं संकरस्य च कर्तास्याम उपहन्यामिमाः प्रजाः. He says, in case I don't perform the work, I cease to perform these actions. In the previous shloka he has told that I must work. I also explained his creation. We can learn the discipline that every day the sun rises, every day the sun sets. There are seasons happening. There is a day and there is a night. Everything is so well orchestrated among all the elements of nature that nothing is going wrong. The vegetations are there, the animals are there, the distribution of human beings across even different gunas, all this, everything is so well done and everything is being carried out. Who is going to carry out this one? It is Prakriti. That means Maya Shakti of the Parabrahma. So he says, therefore, that means we can see that activities are happening. You just sit and laze around, but that doesn't mean everything stops around you. Everything is happening. If you don't work, that doesn't mean the nature ceases to work. No, never ever it will happen. Even if all of us sit and sleep for 24 hours, still the things are happening because of what Krishna is saying. He always is in a state of continuous action, but not he per se. It is through Prakriti. That difference we have to understand today. So he says, if I cease to perform these actions, then what will happen? There is no Srishti. All the worlds will just perish. There is no activity. Nothing will happen. So, and I would be responsible for, let's say, at this moment he stops. The world stops. Activity stops. But we are all there, going here and there. So he says social disruption. Sankara, social disruption. Social disruption means Krishna has created a system where each person performs the activity based on, as we said, guna karma. So the varnas are created, not the caste, but the distribution of labor. You should take it like that. That is the real meaning of varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. There are four categories of people, and this has been divided based on guna and karma. Guna, based on their aptitude, based on their skills, how they have chosen. From the past lives itself, it starts. From their tendencies, it starts. So, therefore, he has done that, and this is how he maintains the harmony in the society. So, once I stop working, there is social disruption, and I'll be ruining all these people. I have created, I have given them guideline, I have given them assurance. So what will happen? All of a sudden, everything, if it comes to standstill, then there is a social disruption and the evolution does not happen. The spiritual realization does not happen. Therefore, he says, I am always in a state of action. I will never cease to perform. So that means we must understand that in previous shloka he says, we should never be inactive. We should be continuously performing one or the other action. Even if we don't feel, we should be thinking good about the society, for the welfare of the society, but never we should stop working. When Krishna and his Prakriti itself is working, what makes us laze and stop working? Never ever. Till our last breath we should work, and that work itself is he says it is a yajna, isn't it? And it's a sign of growth. Even for living beings, growth is life, stagnation is death. That's what Swami Vivekananda also says. And with every action we grow. With every action we grow, provided it's done with this attitude, with this kind of perspective. So that is the meaning of, he says, if I stop, then it will create lot of disturbances, so I cannot. Then he says, Saktaha karmanya vidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata. Bharata means kuryat vidvan tatha asaktaha chikirshuhu loka sangraham. So he says that he has brought out vidvamsaha, avidvamsaha. Vidvan. Vidvan means what? Pandit. Vidvan is Pandit. Pandit means learned. But here the word vidvamsa refers to enlightened people. Vidvamsaha means really enlightened people. So people who are unenlightened are considered as ignorant people. So the ignorant perform actions with attachment. Attachment to what? What is the basic attachment? Attachment towards, we work with one purpose, no? That itself is attachment. We all work with the purpose. Why do I go and serve? Why do I have this job for me? Because it gives me salary. What will I do with that salary? I will educate my children. I will improve the comforts of my family. I will save for my old age. Always we have these kind of objectives, purpose when we work. That is ignorant. That is not the real purpose of working. What is the real purpose of working? That is true. We do get paid and we are working. But that is the system. We agree. But the attitude with which, alright, you have joined a company or you have joined some place which pays you salary. Having defined that, after that we should not think about that. The way we should work with detachment is when we work for our evolution and with the attitude of only my interest is only to perform this work with my heart and soul in that. After that whatever comes is God's prasad. Last time Peter mentioned. So bhakti has to come. Without that, karma yoga will not work. Whatever the results, whatever money comes, increment comes, bonus comes, or some promotion, everything is his prasad, may or may not come. I should be satisfied when I give my 100%, my standards. Have I given this presentation completely? Did it comply to what standards I have set for myself? That should be the motto, that should be the objective. So this is how an enlightened person works, always consciously. One is whatever he works should help many people. So that also comes here for the welfare. He says in this shloka itself, he says loka sangraham. So the enlightened people work with detachment and for the welfare. Two criteria. What we should do, we should convert our day-to-day activities in this fashion. That itself will take us towards God, because everything is designed by Him, and everything is working as per His Prakriti, and we next shloka is that only. So we must not claim the results of this action. As I mentioned, once again I will mention, when we perform any action in the, I think 17th chapter he tells, but right now I should say there are many factors which will contribute towards the outcome of an action, of which effort is just one. Our effort is just one aspect, and we assume that because I have given my 100%, I should get 100% results. Doesn't happen that way. There are many things that contribute. There are many interferences. It could be many things. I mean, many things that is decided by our past karma also. Past karma influences in a big way. Apart from that, there are many things. So our job is to just give our 100%, and after that we leave it to that. And loka sangraha, keep that in mind. Whatever we do should be for the benefit of everyone, or at least we must surrender. In whichever profession we are, whichever position we are, we must just surrender, and we should start thinking about people around us. Never it should be selfish. Loka sangraha is opposite of selfishness. No action should be done for me, my family, mine. Ashte athara irbardu. It should be always be that let this help many people. In whichever area we are, we can apply this principle. Try to experiment. Particularly, see, there are some professions which are already like doctors, teachers, mothers, as parents. It's already there. We are already doing a selfless work by default. But for others, whatever work we are doing, if we start thinking how is it going to benefit many, bahujana hitaya bahujana sukhaya is the principle of Upanishads in our Hinduism philosophy. So that is how loka sangraha, he says, the enlightened people work for loka sangraha and without any attachment to the results. They do not claim it was my duty, my responsibility, that's it, period. It ends there. I should not expect anything, whatever. But Swami Vivekananda says, do with this attitude, money will come, reputation will come, everything will follow you. It follows. That is how karma yoga works, it seems. That is how it is. But we should not bother. If it comes, it comes. But when it comes, we are so in a blissful state that we feel okay, we offer it to God. If we are enlightened, I am talking about. So Vidvamsaha means enlightened person. How does he work? He works for welfare of others. He works with detachment. So here ignorant means he works, those who are not spiritually, those who are not enlightened, they work with attachment. Every action, what will I get from this? In fact, I had one student, I was about 15 years ago. I just said in conference, go and speak to people, make friends. It's good. You can help them, they can help you. Indirectly, I am also not a very enlightened person, but I would say that it helps each other, maybe mutual. So, or I did not say mutual, I said just make friends. So he told me very clearly, madam, unless I know what is the benefit I am going to get from him, unless I know how will I be benefited from him, I will not make friends. So look at his objective. One way it is okay, saving time, but it is totally a deal. Any activity should not be a commercial deal or something. You can just make friends, connect with people, share good vibes. So that way also it can be done. But most of the time, because of our ignorance, what we do is we are self-centered. What will I get by going to their house? What will I get by contributing this way? Do I have anything in return? So many people in many meetings we say, you can do this job. So what will I get in return? The first question that is asked, will I get promotion? Will I get money? Or will I get something else? What is the benefit? So Swami Vivekananda says, work for the sake of work. It's a very prominent statement. Work for the sake of work. Of course, not compromising your responsibilities, but never expect whatever is there. Just first you perform. Then you can ask so many things, but just perform without asking. So that is the core of Karma Yoga. So that he says, Saktaha karmanya vidvamso yatha kurvanti kuryat vidvan tatha asaktaha. Ignorant people always work with something, some bargain, some deal, some returns. That is how they work. Then next shloka says, Na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yuktah samacharan. So now we are talking about enlightened and not enlightened. So there are many people, like we are in between. We may not be, or some of you may be enlightened also, but we are in between. So we are little wiser. We have understood Karma Yoga. We have already started practicing it. But then we find people around us are not yet in that direction. So he says, do not confuse, do not just by observing them, hey, is that the way to work? You should never ask. You should never ask for benefits. You should always work like Karma Yoga. That doesn't work, because everybody is in a different level of their evolution. Just because unenlightened or ignorant people do not work with this Karma Yoga and we have started working, that doesn't mean that we should confuse them. They will not understand also, and they become totally sidetracked and they get confused actually. So, what I am trying to say is, just because we are on the path of enlightenment, or if we have got enlightened, that doesn't mean that we can confuse or we can expect too much out of an ignorant person. Ignorant person means he can be ignorant at any level. Just like we say tamasic, rajasic and sattvic. Tamasic is inertia, they don't want to change, and they are not aware that there is certain thing, there is a code of conduct or code of evolution. Bhagavad Gita is called as Moksha Shastra. Moksha means liberation, but at this point of time, for all our, for beginners like you and I would say, this is a Shastra which helps us to get over our challenges, which helps us to get over our sufferings. We'll take it at that step now, and that is actually the fact. Liberation means you are totally free from sufferings. Nothing will disturb you. That attitude you will develop, that mindset you will develop. So having said that, now this shloka says there are different people around with different level of evolution. So if a person is little more evolved, then you must not try to confuse him by telling all big things and suddenly Bhagavad Gita talks like this, you follow Bhagavad Gita. That is not the way Krishna says. Whereas on the other hand, you must show these things in your actions and inspire. Very beautiful word he says, joshayet, josh, produce that josh, that encouragement. You must inspire. So what happens is, people don't, as I told in the last session, people don't listen to what you talk, they follow your actions. So just talking about big things and not performing, or enlightened persons do perform. But what Krishna is saying is, enlightened persons do not, and those who are little wiser should not deviate these ignorant people in a very wrong way by telling high funda things and expecting them to jump and reach your state. That's not possible. Just go down to their level and then bring them step by step. How do you bring them step by step? By showing in your action, in your behavior. What is that behavior? Whenever you talk, there are characteristics, 12th chapter Krishna says, Adveshta sarvabhutanam, Maitraha karuna evacha, Nirmamo nirahankaraha, Samadukha sukakshami. So such enlightened person demonstrates certain criteria. What are those criteria? He doesn't hate people. He is a balanced person. He is a calm person. He tries to show love and affection, and there is an aura around him which will automatically bring these ignorant people to his contact, and they change. Even if you do not say it, you can start observing. So there is no need for an enlightened person or a person of some wisdom, little wisdom, as I said, like you and I, to force other people whom you feel that they should come. You come, you sit, you attend the class is not required. Just show in your actions, because when they start observing those changes in you, then they start, there is a curiosity. They start thinking, maybe because she reads Bhagavad Gita, these are the changes, and I find her always very calm and a balanced state of mind. Maybe, and that whether they like it or not, it will have an influence on them. This is how an enlightened person should influence others. Not Loka Sangraha doesn't mean that we should start preaching to everyone who is interested, who is not interested. No, that is not the way. Loka Sangraha is working for the benefit of others and demonstrating those attributes in our behavior, applying them in our day to day, and more it is required in educated class, highly qualified class, because there comes the spirit of unhealthy competition. That is the highest state of ignorance, unhealthy competition, pulling somebody's leg and trying to go above them, plagiarism. So all these things, no, manipulation, all this, because see, today we have the digital arrest. It is a manifestation of a perverted intelligence. They are so intelligent. They know how to manipulate a person's psyche. Digital arrest is happening in India big time. People are getting scared. This is scam. It's a scam to take away their money. So how they have manipulated the system. So these are all the lowest people, I should say, most ignorant people in terms of evolution, spiritual evolution. So intelligent people need more of this jnana, more of this wisdom. Intelligent, qualified, rich people, they have to evolve more. So, but there is more ignorance among them. I cannot generalize, but more you intellectually grow, more you need the spiritual quotient. This is the truth, because Swami Vivekananda says, as you grow in your career or in your prosperity, somewhere the growth of your expansion of your the spiritual or altruism, what we call, no, concern for others and all that, those kind of soft values, soft skills or soft values, they are overlooked, because person starts becoming selfish. That is how the prakriti works. So that time we have to be little cautious. So the whole thing is that person who is Vidvamsa, he should work with detachment and for Loka Sangraha. And another responsibility is, do not confuse your fellow brethren, fellow beings. Do not confuse them. Let them grow on their own. On the other hand, you can handhold them and take them step by step. Even teachers, if you see, teachers also, what is the basic fundamental thing in our education technology? What do we say? From the known to unknown, isn't it? When we teach, we say, take the students from known to unknown, where they are. We should come down. The next shloka, I think he says, one of the shlokas he says, so we have to go down to their level, and from there we have to elevate. From there we have to elevate, not confuse them. And in fact, Swami Vivekananda says, an old man should not laugh at the child's morsel. An old man should not laugh. Look at this baby. What is she eating? The baby eats small porridge like thing, very softly done rice or whatever. And old man is grown up. Not very old, I'm saying, a grown up man. He eats chapati or rotis or bread, which he can digest easily. So can he laugh at the child? No. He will go down, he should speak to him, he should speak in his own words, become friends with him. That is how he will educate a child. So that is the theme taken here for all of us, that we should not assume that whatever we say will be taken by our fellow beings. No, it will not be taken. Rather, it will be rejected. If you go directly, they will repel and they will develop aversion to whatever you are talking, if it is not accompanied by your right behavior. But if you are disciplined, if you perform all those, if you are a true devotee and you show in your actions, action is very, very important. Karma yoga insists on actions. Just like Vaishnava Janato Tene Kahiye Je Pida Paraye Jane Re Paradukhe Upakara Kare Joye Mana Abhimana Na Jane Re. So this is how a Vaishnava means a Jnani, you can say. So empathy, compassion, these are the virtues which a man should start demonstrating if he is spiritually advancing, and it will automatically come. So this is the meaning of 26th. Na buddhi bhedam janayet. Buddhi bhedam means confusion. Do not, the word exact meaning is not there. I am not going to give. It's saramsh, sara, that is a summary, gist of it. So every teacher has to come down to their level and then they should bring them up. So, because initially ignorant people are tamasic. Tamasic means inertia. There is resistance to change. They do not want to change. They just want to be in their own state and they think that is the way. Whatever they think is right. So, don't disturb them. Gradually you can take and your actions will change them automatically. Now next is little deeper. Please concentrate. Next 2-3 shlokas. This is the real absolute truth what we are talking about. This is this perspective also is important for us to de-stress ourselves with so many activities that we are doing every day. Prakrutehe kriyamānāni gunaihi karmāni sarvashah ahankara vimūಢātma kartāham iti manyate. So here he says prakrutehe kriyamānāni gunakarmāni sarvashah. All activities, whatever we are performing now, are carried out by 3 gunas. The entire creation, it is based on 3 gunas. What I told you that is sattva, rajas and tamas. Sattva, rajas, tamas. What is the creation? Little bit I will go in depth and concentrate and understand. It's very nice. So how we are performing actions every day? We see something with our eyes and there is an object to see, isn't it? There is a table, there is a chair, there are students, there are patients, there are our people around, clients, whatever you call it. So there is an object and there is a sense organ. So we have this eyes, ears, nose and the organ of speech and the skin. So major 5 organs. And we have objects of senses and sense organs. What does eye see? They see objects. What does the ear hear? It hears the noise, sound, people talking, good and bad. What does the mouth do? It eats, it talks, good and bad again. So like that, these sense organs 5 and objects of senses also 5. Then we have 5 elements which are created. Just be attentive because I will talk about the literal meaning of this shloka I will tell, then you can understand. Prakrutehe kriyamānāni gunaihi karmāni sarvasha. The gunas of Prakriti perform all the actions that are happening with the human being, he is deluded. Deluded means he becomes blind. He is overpowered. His mind is overcaptured by ahankara, ego. So being overpossessed by ahankara, kartaham iti manyate, he thinks he is the doer. Actually the shloka says everything is happening as per the nature, but man thinks I am the doer. Naan madde, I earned, I gained, it was me who did this, I must get the recognition, I must get the felicitation. So these are the things we claim. I have cooked, I have brought up my children, I have taken care of so many people, I have treated these patients. Okay, no problem, but we'll see how it translates, actual meaning of that. So now Krishna says, actually what is happening around? I am talking now Bhagavad Gita, I am explaining, you are listening. This action is not, it's not me, it is Prakriti which is doing. What is Prakriti do? What is the components? What are the components of this Prakriti? This Prakriti means, understand, it is the creation of this God. Okay, God means Parabrahma, who is totally calm, nirakara, full of potential. Potential means is a bija, seed. He has the ability to grow, but it is not a tree. So the tree comes out as Prakriti. From the seed you get the tree, no? Like that, the seed is a Paramatma and the tree is a Prakriti, also called as Yoga Maya. Through his Yoga Maya, he brings out this tree. What does this tree contain? It has got 5 he creates with that Prakriti. First he creates 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. You have to imagine these things, okay? So Sattvic is something which is very calm, and it is not only in the human nature, it's outside also. In the 6th and 7th chapters we will understand the entire creation. But right now we must understand, in the nature also, there are 3 aspects. Something is very calm. If you go to some place on the bank of a river, very, very calm. And there is some high activity. Go to malls, Las Vegas, go to those places where there are, what are those, Makomala, Adenapadu? Komla, what are those in US? They play, no? Naren ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ. Is anybody they play those, no? What is that, gambling? What is that called as?
Casinos, sir.
Casinos.
Casino, ma'am.
Casinos. I'm not getting that. So casinos, and you see those, the crowd there. That is, that is Rajasic. You can. Tamasic is totally inert, nothing, lazy, no activity, a dried well, or to go to a remote village where people sit, not doing anything, only chit chatting. So in the nature also we have these three, and within us also we have three gunas. So based on these three gunas, they say these are the three what I should say entities from which the entire creation comes, and everything can be attributed to three gunas. And same thing applies to human being also. The human also has got sattva guna, rajasa guna, and tamasika guna. Sattva is being a calm state, and rajas is active, ambitious, desirous, anger, everything, energy, high energy is manifested in rajas. High energy is also is in sattva, but in a calm state. And tamasic is inertia, lowest level of energy, and ignorance. There is total ahankara, ignorance, inertia, resistance to change. So these three are there, three gunas. Because of these three, these are the three gunas based on which everything is created. And the creation includes 5 sense organs, 5 sense objects, 5 elements. What are those elements? I told you: earth, space, wind, fire, water. This is a matter, and they have chemical. If you see the periodic table, in chemistry, it has got components of all of these. These are all there in those elements. So, and then also 5 organs of action: kai, kalo, jananendriya, genital organ, organs of excretion. So all these 5, and then there is mind, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. This is also prakriti, and this also mind. Then there is above that, hierarchical wise, if you take, there is mind, which always is in a state of distraction, like a monkey, we say. Once it wants to go here, the eyes say let's go there, the ears say don't go there, the word, somebody's words, they say you better stay here, like that. It is carried in different directions. Then above that comes buddhi, the discriminative faculty in our brain or in our body, whether it is in the brain or where, as per the spiritual things, it's slightly different. So mind thinks and buddhi discriminates, it will guide. And there is chitta, little more higher. And then comes ahankara. Ahankara is ego also, and the originator of all these. And it is the originator because ahankara also can be considered to some extent as our subconscious mind, which has the impressions of all our thoughts, not only in this birth but from so many births. We have carried all that. So all this is there as a sukshma sharira, subtle body. So this is a creation. Now you understand what are we doing? We are working in a superficial plane. ಇವತ್ತು ಅವಳೇನೋ ಹೇಳಿದ್ಲು, ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದೇನೋ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ, ಐ ಡಿಡ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್, ಐ ಸೆಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹರ್, ಶಿ ಗಾಟ್ ಅಪ್ಸೆಟ್ ಆರ್ ಹಿ ಗಾಟ್ ಅಪ್ಸೆಟ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ all the activities are happening in a very, very superficial level. But go deep and understand that the creator is carrying out all our activities through this kind of creation. So now I'm coming back. This is the classification. So the then why will I become a teacher? Why will I become a housewife? Why will I become a doctor? Or why will I do this kind of thing? Or why I become a murderer? All this is because of these 3 gunas. Prakriti is pushing a human being to perform whatever action he is doing. But our ignorance, because of our ahankara, we think I am the doer, I have killed, I have achieved. No, it is because of prakriti. It is the interaction of the sense organs with the objects of senses, which is outside, and it is an interplay of sattva, rajas, tamas. It's a permutation and combination. Sometimes we are highly sattvic, we perform good actions. Sometimes we are highly rajasic, we try to run a marathon and all that. Sometimes we are so tamasic that we just ignore everything and just lie as a potato couch and watch TV and just relax, not doing anything. So a man has got a combination of all these 3, and there is always one thing which predominates. And when all the 3 are in balance, and particularly when we go towards sattvic, then we are closer to liberation. We are closer, very close to moksha. So this is how the prakriti is working. And Krishna mentions that we must assume. Then how we should think? If I can say I have not cooked chapatis today, what does it mean? My hands have worked, no? I only took the decision I needed, I did everything. How can you negate my action? So it's a fact that you have done, but the person who did that is not you. That is a point we are bringing. Please try to concentrate. Any doubts so far? Any doubts, anything so far? Anybody? Or I'll complete this part and then you can give your thoughts on this. So uh, then how do we, what should be our attitude then? If Prakriti is doing, am I a useless fellow? No. In the whole hierarchy, mind, buddhi, ahankar, and that buddhi is there, that is called as free will, a small fraction. God creates everything, He also gives you buddhi. What is this buddhi for? Not to claim an action, but to do a right choice, to go in the right direction or to go in the wrong direction. That buddhi He has given you a free will. It is in medicine, we can call it as a spinal reflex. It doesn't have to go there. Just choose, be aware. What takes me towards evolution? What takes me downwards? So we have to make a choice. Can I talk like this? Does it have any repercussions? Should I use it? So every choice has got two sides. I mean, it could do good, it could do bad. We have to speak, we have to be aggressive, we have to be assertive, but the purpose should be selfless. It should not be for us. So like that, if we keep that in our mind, then this is called spiritual awakening. Until we are spiritually awakened, until we start thinking like this, Prakriti keeps doing its own job and we are all pulled towards that Prakriti and we are working. Once we start thinking, this way, I'll make the right choice, and I am not Pratibha or this body, I am the Parabrahman. So here comes the real truth. It's little difficult for everybody to conceptualize and imagine, but this is what you and I are. This is the truth. Today you understand, or maybe you have already understood, you are already exposed to this, that in this body there are two things. Just like the grain and its, what is that? The covering of that grain, no? What is that called? Ban, no? Like that, or the butter in a buttermilk. So these are the two components in this body. What is one component? That is the Atma. When God created, I told you, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, and then He creates the human beings and the animals and the plants. In all these living beings, He has come as Jivatma. Whether you are aware or not, we are all having that Jivatma within us. And the same Atma which is within me exists in you. Little deeper, I should say. Please concentrate, but it's very interesting if you can, fully concentrate. So this body, Uma or Kavita, Komala, we are all different beings, but we are different only in terms of this physical body, our mind, our buddhi, all this package, body, mind, intellect, it's called BMI. So this is one component, and Jivatma is another component. So an enlightened person, Krishna says, what is working? The Prakriti is working. But when I become spiritually aware, I make the right choice and understand, yes, Prakriti is working. I get an understanding that I am not working. But then who am I? I am that Paramatma. Everything is happening because of these interactions. All the sorrows, all the joys, all the happiness. It is just like a movie which is happening outside. If I start thinking, I am the ultimate bliss, and that is, they say, the happiness which you get when you start thinking about yourself as Parabrahma or Sat Chit Ananda, or Aham Brahmasmi. If you start thinking that I am actually such a blissful fellow, why the hell I am breaking my head on such trivial issues? This is Maya, Prakriti. It's okay, I will be part of that. I will write the examination, I will score, whatever it is. But within my heart I know this is the game which is being played. It's a sport of Bhagavan, and I am actually with Him within me. I am the Parabrahman. That is my real identity. And whatever is outside is just a sport. So we have to enjoy the day-to-day activities. When we develop this perspective, we get relief from sorrows, because my basic nature is to be happy. Nothing can perturb me. I am Sthita Prajna. This thought, if we start, always keep reminding with our spiritual, inclination like this, then you will realize, oh my God, why the hell I spend so much time in cribbing, analyzing, and all that. So, of course, there are people who don't get affected. They are very strong basically. But becoming strong with this wisdom is what is required. Becoming strong with this wisdom. Some people are basically aggressive and they are capable, they are evolved, but becoming aggressive with this enlightenment. So you can fight, you can be aggressive. I will not give up. There are some people who are very strong. I am not talking about that kind of strength. Here I am talking about a strength which comes from our realization that I am not this body. This body is there, but it is just a temporary for this life. Next time again another, just like this dress, I will change, but what remains with me is my true self. That Atma remains true. And then when I start thinking like that, no, that's true. Why nothing is affecting me, because I am basically a Parabrahman, Satchidananda Swarupa, absolute bliss. The bliss is it is infinite magnitude of happiness. Whatever we call happiness and pleasantness in this worldly affairs, it is much more than that. That's what is described in the Vedas. Once you start feeling, no, actually when you start practicing it, you will start experiencing that detachment. So we must live in this world with detachment, because we should be attached to the thought of Parabrahma. Mind cannot remain unattached, it should be attached somewhere. Detach it from the worldly affairs, but do it and then get associated. So how to do that? In the last statement he says very beautifully. Now Arjuna, if he keeps thinking like that, will he fight? And when we think like this, how do we face the day to day? How do we act? So you must act by this Atma Bhava. You must act by as an observer. Look how my hands are working. Look how I am singing. Look my voice is singing. Look, I am listening. Look, my Bhagavad Gita is happening. So it is look. You are telling it to something. That means who is telling? You are separate. So you have to separate these two sheets. That's what they say. You should be separate. You should always be aware of this separation. Only then that is a permanent solution for sorrows. I don't know whether I have gone a little more, but this is what is the understanding of this shloka, that is 28th shloka. That means it says ahankara means the body consciousness, feeling that this body is me. Ahankara, vimudhatma means deluded. That means you are blind. There's a wheel which does not let you see what is the truth. The truth is I am Parabrahma. Not only that, you and I are the same. Very interesting, but this thought doesn't stay in your mind for long. We should keep on reminding. And how we should do that? By practicing this karma yoga and remembering it in different times of the day in different activities. But the same thought has to come. So I am the Brahma. Brahma means I am the God. Actually it is Advaitic philosophy. If you go by Dvaita philosophy and Vishishta Advaita, there is slight difference in that. But ultimately it is attributed to the presence of God. Everybody agrees that there is a Jivatma in the body, but it is covered because of our Ahankara. So that is the 27th shloka. Then Tattvavittu Mahabaho Gunakarma Vibhagayoho Guna Guneshu Vartanta Iti Matva Na Sajjate. So, but one who has the true insight into domains of guna and karma, knowing that gunas as sense organs rest in gunas, just listen because it's little confusing, rest on gunas as sense objects, does not become attached. The meaning is exactly what I said just now. Therefore, one has Tattvavittu Mahabaho, one who understands that these karma, guna karma, the karmas are performed according to your gunas. And what is this guna? There is a guna within, there is a guna outside. So he says that guna guneshu vartanta. That means there is an interplay of the person, of the gunas which are there in the nature and the gunas which are there within the body, with the mind particularly, with the thought process. Just understand very clearly that a person who understands that this is just an interplay. It is between these sense organs, sense objects, between the three gunas. I will just be concentrating and I will start assuming that I am Atma, yet perform my duty, yet perform my responsibility. Then what happens is, you will not have any kind of expectations. You will not have any kind of expectations. Then he says, Prakrutehe guna sammodaha sajjante guna karmasu tan krishna vido mandan kritsnavit na vichalayet. He has, this sloka is repetition of what we have told earlier. A man of knowledge should not confuse the same thing, those of imperfect understanding who are deluded by the gunas of nature and are attached to materialistic world. So what does it say? That it says that one who becomes perfect knowledge means one who understands that I am Brahman. We say, no, Chidananda Rupam Shivoham Shivoham. I am not this mind, I am not this Chit, I am not Bodhi, I am the perfect bliss, I am the perfect bliss. But I have to act, because I have come with this body, with these 5 elements, I have to act, I will do. But that thought will keep coming to us and we will start experiencing that happiness only when we perform the spiritual, when we perform with a spiritual attitude. So no expectations, it's okay. But that doesn't mean we give up everything. No, where we have to correct, we have to correct, because it should follow a divine pattern. So we are not inactive also, but we are acting also, yet we should be aware that I am not the doer. Very tricky thing Krishna has kept, but it's very interesting, right? So he says, the man of knowledge should not confuse those men of imperfect knowledge. Imperfect knowledge means they are still in the Deha Bhava. That means I am the body, I am the doer, it is because of me I am doing, and they don't believe in any of these. Having said that, Krishna now comes to the solution. That means, how do we remain in this state now? He says, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa nirashihi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jvaraha. So he says, Mai sarvani karmani, renounce all the actions to me, with mind centered on the sanyasyadhyatma chetasa. So your mind should be on the Atma, on the self, okay, higher self, Atma. And nirashihi, no expectations, get rid of hopes and expectations. Nirmamo, no selfishness, fight on, free from vigata jvaraha, mental fever. That means now Arjuna is having that depression, anxiety, confusion, so many things, and because of which Arjuna Vishada Yoga we say. So Arjuna is into a state of depression. He doesn't know what to do. Why should I fight? So Krishna says, Mai sarvani karmani. You surrender everything. So very beautifully, it's a summary of what we are expected to do. As I said, we must act. Number 1, we must not be inactive. Yet we must not claim the results of action, because the actions are done by Prakriti, by gunas, by my past tendencies. But I will be an observer and perform my responsibilities to my fullest ability without any expectations. Then give up the desires. Nirashihi. Hinge irbeku. My life should be like this only, like that only. No. Your life should have this kind of effort. I should be working hard. That should be my desire. Not that I should own so many properties, I should live totally comfortably. Vigata spraha, somewhere he says, do not crave for those. So surrender, nirashihi, to have no expectations. Only expectation is God. I should be in Atma Bhava. I should be surrendering to you. I should be remembering you. And being in that state itself is my biggest goal of my life. So when we channelize our desires in this direction, mind can never be without desire. When you channelize them, then you attain that kind of enlightenment, wisdom, and basically you will become very calm and peaceful. So surrender, give up the desires. Nirmamo, nano, nannadu, mine. It's I have owned it. Proprietorship and doership. Do not have that. After doing all this, now get rid of all this mental fever and fight the battle, says Krishna to Arjuna. Now Arjuna is fighting the battle with Kauravas. What is our battle? Our battle is battle of life. Whenever we face challenges, whenever we face situations, that becomes a big battle for us. So how to do? This is what it is. Whatever is happening, pleasant as well as unpleasant, So maybe we have, it's like a roller coaster, isn't it? We have pleasant moments, kabhi khushi, kabhi gum, isn't it? So खुशी में भी ऐसे ही सोचना चाहिए, दुख गम में भी ऐसे ही सोचना चाहिए. Whenever you are in khushi also, we must say this is prakriti. I just want to be. This khushi is not going to satisfy. That bliss is going to satisfy. Let me be very difficult. I can understand. These are the thoughts which I am expressing, but we must make an effort to, repeatedly remind ourselves about this, about our true nature. What is our true nature? Sat Chit Ananda. Uttishtata Jagrata Prapyavarana Bodhata. The Vedas, they say that you are the bliss, you are unnecessarily suffering, you are manifestation of infinite potential. You have got so much potential that you don't realize, says Krishna. We don't realize, we are ignorant about it. But if we meditate, if we do japa, if we sing God's bhajans, and if we surrender to Him, and when the grace flows to us, when He blesses, first step should be taken by us. Then His grace will come. Together, then you will realize that your life has changed tremendously. In what way? Money, prosperity, that also will come. More than that, you will stop craving. That itself will relieve you from the suffering. You will stop craving for someone to be talking to you. You will stop craving for somebody should speak only good things for you. You will stop craving that nobody should object to my actions. Nobody should get angry over me. No, everything will be accepted. ठीक है, सब भगवान का, अलग निरंजन, सब भगवान की देन है. Everything is His. Your prasad. I am coming to that. We will say, I have done my action. Whatever comes is your prasad. And as I said, when the prasad comes, now when you go to temple and take that prasad, beautifully in South India we prepare puliyogare, chitranna or masuranna, curd rice. Very interesting prasad is given. Do we try to find fault with that? Never ever we find fault. We always relish that prasad, isn't it? So we have to relish the results of our action, good and bad. People insult, no problem. People appreciate, no problem. Both are your prasad. That should be the equanimity. When we start doing that, then God will, they say that all these impurities will start disappearing from our mind, and the Jivatma, or the whatever bliss is there, it starts shining. It starts showing on your face, on your behavior, and your mindset changes. Definitely it will change. There is no doubt, because they say pramana, it has been established. And people like Janaka, in the previous session we said, Janak Raj, they have all shown that they have been good emperors, they have been great emperors, there have been great teachers, there have been great leaders. Narendra Modi is one example who practices spiritual meditation and all that every day. And look at his achievements, look at his calmness, how he dares to ignore people, and how many troubles he is facing. Crocodiles are there around him. Still he is facing. That's only because of his spiritually awakened mind. So may God bless us with all this, these kind of thoughts. With that, close a session. But I wanted to play one small this one song.